Good evening, good evening. Hello, 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 hello. Happy Monday, happy Monday. Happy day after Sunday. Happy after day after worship day. Happy, 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 happy. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night to everyone. We're here again. Prayer for Marriages. My name is Marcia Baker. I'm an evangelist in the kingdom. And my sidekick, my co-host, my pari is here this week. Evangelist Nikki is here with her forever loving shirt, right? So we just want to say hello to you. Hello, hello, hello to you. We're so happy that you're here to be with us one more time. Last week I said it seemed like Monday was yesterday, and today I feel the same way. I feel like we just had Monday yesterday, where we talked about what does the husband want from the wife, right? And so we're here again this evening, and we're gonna talk some more about it. Things husbands need from wives. When we know what we need from them, and we are vocal about it. We're so vocal about it. And so they hear it, they understand it, but some men are not so vocal. So since I let out last week and I started, I'm going to give Evangelist Nikki a chance to greet, and then she can give a couple of things on what men want. But we're gonna do it together this week. I like when we just like bounce off of each other so that we can enlighten each other some more, and you that is listening. All right, so we just want to welcome those of you that are on YouTube, those of you that are on Facebook. We just want to say good evening and happy Monday to you. Over to you, Evangelist Nikki.
Yes, it's good to be back. Good to be back. The good thing about Evangelist and I, we always agree to disagree. Okay, she looked forward when Monday comes, she's like, it was just Monday. And my take is, listen, I get 24 and I enjoy so many 24. I don't even know what day it is. Somebody don't tell me what day it is, because I am so enjoying and doing. Until somebody say, oh, it's Monday again. I'm like, yes, my mantra is happy Monday, money Monday, make it happen, make your 24
That's it, Money
count.
Monday.
Yes, make your 24 count. So you can reflect back and say, wow. And I'm with Evangelist. Last week, she had an amazing session that we did. And we're on the same trajectory this week, because this month is still Father's Day month. We consider it a month because every day is Women's Day, right? Pretty much. We're celebrating something for the woman all the time. And yes, we had an amazing time in Mother's Day, but June month is Father's Day month. There's so many other things happening, but we want to zone in and appreciating the man. We did that last week. We kicked that off last week again. And I just want to share that same sentiment again, since I wasn't on, but I was behind the scene. But, again, we want to let the men know we appreciate them. And, a lot of time we punish the ones that are doing for the ones that are not doing.
They're not doing.
So, we want to just take this time to let you know you are appreciated. We value, we honor you, and we respect you in everything that you do, especially the men who are holding on the fort, building the kingdom of God. It's not a popular thing to do. So we salute you and we celebrate every milestone, every step, every journey, every day, every decision that you made to stand up for holiness and righteousness. We are here as your cheerleaders, as wives, to cheer you on. Because there's something about when a man pray. Let me tell you something. When I'm like, babe, can you just pray for me? Even if you just said one word, just that touch, it's like everything, nothing wrong. He's like, babe, how's your head? I'm like, what headache? What? What? It's just gone. So yes, there is power, and we're here to support you. And Evangelist kicked it off last week where she spoke about what men want. She spoke about the kind heart. Men want women that are kind-hearted, thoughtful, caring, loving. And you know what, women, we don't realize how powerful our smile is to our spouse. Just like when there is a frown on your face, there's different bells going off in their head. They're concerned that they want to fix something. What's wrong? How can I help you? When they ask you all the time, because they're trying to do that because they want to see that smile on your face. And I told folks, smile is a language that's spoken across all diaspora. Smile. And Evangelist spoke about that. Just smile into our spouse, have that attitude of compassion. Just when you greet them with a smile. That made them feel so appreciated. She also touched on empathy. We don't empathize with our spouse when they mess up. We beat them down more. Let them know it's okay. just don't live there, right? It's okay to make that mistake. I know it was intentional, and you support them. And that's the next thing. She spoke on supporting your spouse and whatever they're doing. You might not understand the vision that God downloaded in them. And because we don't understand at that time we're doing it from our own intellect, our own reasonability, and not see where they're coming from. Probably they get it, spiritually, or how God downloaded to them. We might not get it, but doesn't mean you dismiss it. Like you think of all that. You know what I mean? That's downplaying their, what they come to you with. Just support them. I'm a firm believer in executing. I'm not going to tell you it's not going to work until we try. And if we try 100 ways, so baby, there's still one more. There's another 101 way to go. Let's keep going. Just don't fail. Failure is not an option. Just don't quit. Keep going. Support them. And also have your own goals. Just like how we're cheering them on, we make it a team, because there's no I, as Evangelist said last week, there's no I in us, in we as a team building together. We are a team. There is no competition. It just disturbs my spirit when I see spouse compete. I mean, there's healthy competition, but when you're competing, like you're against each other, that jealousy, competition, competing, jealousy, like, well, if you get promoted at work, I must get promoted. If you get a degree, I must get it. And like all of those are fun. It's just the way you do it. It's just the way you do. So she left. Listen, man, she got me in all last week, because I was like, listen, and I'm like, oh yes, especially the smile part, because that's something I usually struggle with, right? So that share sentiment with me, just a smile, it become my daily language. Sometimes my husband look at me, why are you smiling? And naturally, he smiles, no matter what frown he got on his face or what he got going on. Once he see me smiling, sometimes I'll be just sitting there looking at him from a side eye and just smiling. I don't know he paying attention, and he's like, babe, right? Because in their mind, it's like, I did that. She's doing this for me because I did that, right? So it makes a difference. Ladies, smile. And it's not frequent. You go to the store, everybody frown up. You go into the office, happy Monday, what's good about the day? Everybody have a frown wearing. Give somebody a smile. And I promise you, you give it to your spouse, it will come back. There's no one that saw a smile and it does not come back.
That is true.
Try it. So listen, we had loaded a lot last week for the men, and another woman is saying, oh, we always beating up on us because we're the neck that turned the head. Yes, believe it or not, ladies.
Listen, the neck has to be strong enough to help maneuver the neck has to be strong enough to help maneuver the head. And so if the neck is messed up and jacked up, even in the natural, when some of your the vertebrae in your neck is not functioning right, the head cannot move right. And I love that analogy that you did. We have to, ladies, as being the neck, the support system, we gotta be right. I'm telling you, listen, when you mention about the smile, right? Every time when I call my husband on video and he sees the smile, he's like, why your smile so bright?
And they're naturally smiling. Like you said, you can hear it in the tone. Smiling. Yes. We can hear it in the tone. When you spoke to your spouse over the phone, give them a smile. When you text them, put a smile emoji. It changes the mindset.
It changes a whole lot. Changes a whole lot.
Yes. So today we want to pick up, because, again, we're doing here short time. And so today, again, we're still on the same cadence. Yes, men, we're all about you. And yes, ladies, we talk about us all the time and the things that we need. Trust me. So we just want to still let the men know that we appreciate them. And we still want to support them. And I know all the wives turned up and make it a special day for Father's Day. For all the great men that mentor you or be a part of your life, take the time. So I believe in celebrating folks. Give them their roses while they are alive. Take time out to celebrate people that matters to you, people that impact your life, people that influence your life. Let them know. The husband that stay and come home and work and be a part of the family and trying his best to do the godly thing. And even if he's not there yet, if your husband is not yet a believer, you have an incredible influence as the believers to be the change that you wanted to see, that Christ-like husband you want. You have to be more Christ-like so he can see the God in you. So he will want the God in you. So don't beat him down with the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. Because a lot of time we know the word, but we are not doer of the word. Like one thing I said last week, our word is not seasoned with grace. We're not kind-hearted. We're not empathetic. You know, we're not compassion. We're not warmth, right? Husband need that from us. We have an incredible influence and a lot of influence that you can imagine over our spouse, our husband. And he needs things that only us as wives can. And yes, it's not only sex they need from us. They need that too. Don't get me wrong now. But that's not the only thing, right? You know, and some simple choices day to day. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a special occasion. It's the simple little things that you do day to day that will bring about these big changes in your husband's heart. Smile. You can do that daily. It is free. Start there, right? And one of the things that as Evangelist did some research, and I also did some research, and I also posed the men, my spouse, as usual, my brothers and my church brothers, you know, me, I always draw them in and text them and ask them all these things. Every time Father's Day come up, what do men want for Father's Day? What do they need? What do men, you know, because everyone's expectation will change over time. Don't get me wrong. And that's why I learned, and I know most people who know me intimately, that I don't do relationship with expectation. I wasn't created this way, but because of life circumstances and life issues and past relationship, I don't do expectation in relationship because expectation change over time. And when it's not communicated, it is toxic. Okay. So yes, and it's okay if you still have expectation, don't get me wrong, but sometimes we misconstrue the expectation with the need. And that's where the problems come in. Let me tell the ladies, your spouse need does not change. Expectation does change, but his need does not change. It doesn't. And that's where a lot of time we'll ask, and we don't ask the clarification question, like you speak about effective communication. We don't do that. We just go off our emotion. But listen carefully. A man needs remain constant.
Yes.
Expectation now wants boundaries can adjust it from time to time, but his needs remain the same. And one of the things that most men also tell us that they need is respect. And no coincidence there, right? Because men communicate love through respect, while women, you know, the Bible said the man should love his wife and the wife should respect his husband. So there's no surprises there. For any marriage to thrive happily, the wives have to respect her spouse, have to respect her husband. It is not only something that makes a husband feel like a man, but it's also a biblical mandate. Ephesians 5:33 explains the wife is to respect her husband. Why? Because that's something that is hard for us women to do, face it. Because we want to love the men the way we want to be loved, right? But to men, the way we love and how they reciprocate love or receive love, is totally different. Men see love through respect. And they need it. Another time we hear it all the time. I think I'm echoing Evangelist. So we hear the word respect around all the time. And we ask men, because a lot of time we asking our friends, our female friends, or mom, you know, and stuff like that. What is respect to a man? We don't know unless we go into the Bible and let the Holy Spirit explain it to us. And not only that, ask your spouse, what does respect look like to him? Ask to male them in your family. What does respect looks like? What does it really mean to a man? What does it really mean to your spouse? You have to have that conversation. And one of the things that most men said, they liked when their wives pray for them. Believe it or not. Shocker, right? They do loves when we pray for them, believe it or not. And not only that, they love to hear when we are praying and we mentioning their name. When you are praying, yes, there's time when we need to have those secret prayers. Don't pray like the Sadducees or the Pharisees. I'm not saying praying pompous or whatever, but everything can be in secret. You understand me? How they're gonna know if you're not showing them? There's time when your children, your household must see you in fasting, must see you worshiping, must see you praising God. They must see you lead by example. How are you gonna teach your husband to pray if he's not there yet without not showing him by your example? Mommy. Yes, So
That's
let's
your daughter?
Yes.
She's fine.
Yes. She have this thing, you know, this is her birthday month. So every day she put on her birthday outfits. She find a birthday outfit to put on every day. It's your month, it's still your month. So so she just come to show me. Sorry guys. So yeah. So you know, let your spouse hear you praying by saying his name. You can pray for everybody, so you never pray, mention his name, right? He must
Right.
you at times praying over him, interceding for him. And like I said, I'm not saying you're doing it in this Sadducees and Pharisees way where you're pumped and you're holy and down and you're beating on, Lord, change this husband, Lord, this man that you gave me. No, as believers, as sons and daughters of Christ, our Father, our Abba, we call him Abba because he's our Father. When we pray, we don't pray prayer of murmur, complain, and worry. We pray prayers of thanksgiving.
Yep.
So because we're praying prayers of thanksgiving, we're thanking God for the spouse that he blessed us with. They need to hear that. That's respect to them. And listen to them, as we mentioned earlier, not just listen to respond, but listen to understand. Don't decide for your spouse. Give them your honest, undivided attention. And if he asks your opinion, only then you provide it. If he doesn't ask you, don't solicit it. Sometimes he just needs you to listen. He's not asking you to make a decision for him. If he's going off the cliff and that's what he tell you that he's going to do, you don't need to say, baby, don't go off the cliff. No, if he's going to go off the cliff, honey, would you like a parachute? Would you like I mean, I'm not going with you, know what I'm saying? Don't beat him up. How could you think, you know what I mean? And we started panicking and all of that. If you come and say, baby, I'm going off the cliff, a lot of people say, I'm just watching him and wave him. No, you can offer a parachute now so he could be safe. So he can, he's an adult, right? We have to understand our spouse are adults. And what I said, adults make decisions, children make mistakes. So it's two different mindsets. But when we coming in now, you know, and we try and overtalk him, telling him why this is not good, why that is not good. He know what he wants. He's an adult.
But you know, before you move on, Evangelist Nikki, I want to say this too, right? That when we are aware of what men want in a relationship or in the marriage, what our husband want, it helps us to understand our partner and to be considerate of their unspoken desires. So when we understand our spouse, when we are aware of what they want, I'm telling you, the whole dynamics of your relationship will change. It will change because a lot of times, like, I don't even understand what he wants. And I know many women have said that. Many women, I don't understand my husband. I don't understand. He don't talk. He's nonverbal. That's because you're not understanding when he's speaking to you. You're not listening. You're listening to respond. You're not listening to understand what he's saying and what he wants. And I think we just have a problem with listening, Lord Jesus. I say I had that problem. I learned how to effectively listen now without thinking of a response. I'm just listening exactly to what he's saying so I can understand what he wants, so I can better understand him. And so when he's not speaking, I exactly know what is going on. I don't have to say why you're quiet. I know why he's quiet, right? I know his desire. I don't have to say, babe, what do you desire? I know what he desires because I've taken the time to learn and know him so I can understand what he wants. So that's a good point you brought out. I just wanted to add that because, you know, this strengthens the bond. And draw us closer to each other, right? It also can help clear away a lot of misunderstanding and minimize miscommunication. So that when what our husbands really want in a relationship, we're here to help you navigate through through research, what men want. What are the men saying that they want? And listen, ladies, this is to help us. I don't know about you out there, but it's helping me learning to better understand what my husband actually wants. I know it's helping Evangelist Nikki. You heard her say last week was just so much. When I was going through the list, I was like, man, some of the stuff that, and you know what? This wasn't from a Christian website. It was from a secular research that we did. So if the men of the world want that, what says the men of the kingdom, or the men who are believers, right? So let's take good care of our men so that the women out there that are non-believers don't take them. And even the ones that are believers that be wanting to take them, they won't be able to, because they're like, no, I don't think you can understand me like my wife. Go ahead, Evangelist.
But yes, I mean, respecting is innate for all men. Like I said, it doesn't discriminate whether they're believers or not. All men they don't want it. They need respect, because women speak love, men speak respect. And you said a key thing about when we're not respecting our spouse, right, and trying to understand where they're coming, because they're speaking. They are speaking. And when they stop speaking, is because they tired of hearing us demeanoring them and dismissing what they're saying. See, someone told me the other day, this coming from a man, ladies, they said, where a man finds respect, that's where his heart will be. Wherever
say that again,
respect.
I want you to say that again for the people in the back to hear it, because they don't seem to understand. You think you can disrespect that man and that man is going to be there every day? He's going to come home later and later and later, and you're going to be more and more upset, and he's going to be coming home later and later and later till he disappears from the house. Not disappears, but literally you won't see him home.
Yeah, because he's going to go to the bar to find it. He might over churchify himself. You know, you might find it in the game, you know, hanging out with the boys them and so forth. Because wherever men find respect, that's where their heart will be. So again, ladies, as women, we speak love, men speak respect. Let him know that you respect him. Tell him, write it to him, voice note it to him, whisper it in his ears, let him know, and encourage him as often as you can. Because as wives, we have to expect great things from our spouse. We made that decision. We chose that person. We are their biggest cheerleaders. And if we're not doing that, as Evangelist said, they will find it elsewhere. Like I said, there's so many things that will be distracting them. So try to compliment him as often, and not just in secret. Again, let's use, when you talk to your friends, don't dismiss him and call him, you know, names. Compliment him, talk well of him, speak highly of him in front of the children, your families, your in-laws, his outlaws. Speak value of the man that you commit to. Because again, we're a reflection of each other. It's the two becoming one. And yes, even though we said, you know, their biggest need is respect, because that's what the Bible said, but however, they also need love, and Evangelist touched on that. We have to love them in their own love language. A lot of time we said they're not listening, Evangelist, because we're speaking to them from our place of love, how we want to be treated, how we feel love. And it's not so. And I think if you have not done it, we talk about this a lot of time, the 5 Love Language by Gary Chapman, that book. If you and your spouse have not done that quiz yet, it's not too late. It's still out there. Google it. You can find it on Google. You and your spouse sit down and do that love language quiz. It works volume, because as it fosters out a lot of misunderstanding. And y'all hear my story. You know, my love language is quality time. My husband's love language is act of service. And he loved to serve. I think Ivan just spoke about she serving her husband, because that's why we get along so well. She liked to serve. Me now, I like the quality time. My husband, he's a good teacher. He's teaching me different, you know, listen, anything you find, any new recipe he finds, he come home and like, babe, let's try this. For me, I don't care for the kitchen, but because I'm getting my quality time with him, you know what I mean? We're getting a twofer. He's serving me in the kitchen and I'm getting my quality time. So I become, you know, we working together, you know? So that's, you can find so many different ways to bond and build your relationship by understanding how each other's feel. Because I usually serve them how I want to be loved. For me, there's no TV. In my bedroom, I don't want no TV, no gadget, phone need to be downstairs, all of that mess. I don't want no interruption, because I was selfish like that. To me, when you shut out the world, once it's time for bed, and you come to the bedroom now, all gadget, because to me, that's an interruption. If the TV is on and the little thing is blinking, the little red light, it's one of my pet peeves. It is a distraction. That's how bad I was. But over time, I learned to understand his love language. that the way I thought he's supposed to love me, I have to show him love in his language and then explain to him how I feel love so he can reciprocate in my love language. So last time I said, oh, I did this, I cook, I clean, I do all of these things, but he's not grateful, he's not thankful. He's come home and he's like, thank you. Right? You don't get that, wow. And because to them, it's not a big deal, because to you,
Not a big deal. Right.
Doesn't mean they don't appreciate it, but that's not how they feel love. And we have to understand, men are creatures of habit. And you said it last week. They're very, very consistent if we are paying attention. Men are creatures of habits, lady. We know when something is off, just like that. Because they
like
are
that.
creatures of
We can tell.
Yes. If we are studying and paying attention, by profession, I'm an analytics person. I do analytics. I use historical trend to predict future trends. So think about that. For me, nothing is amiss. If the high is off or that T is not crossed, I can spot it like that because I'm very observant to details, right? And like I said, men are creatures of habit. We just not paying attention because we're seeing them through our lens. How we feel of things we could do and expect them to do it that way. And that's expectation. Their expectation might not even close to our expectation. We have to be in relationship, respect the man and respect your spouse for who he is, not who you want him to be, hope him to be, aspire him to be, desire for him to be, but for who he is.
Yep.
And then that's when we get frustrated and start the disrespect. So if you remove the expectation and start respecting him as the Bible expects us as wives to do, we won't be disappointed. Speak his language. And one of the things that husbands need is trust. They want us to trust the decision that they make. And like I said earlier, if they make a decision to jump over the cliff, honestly, yeah, we hear it all the time. Oh, if you're jumping over the cliff, I'm going to do this. No, sweetie, he's an adult. Or from a parachute. That's not cold, and I am not mean. I'm not saying I'm telling nobody to do none of that, but I'm just saying honor their decision. It might not make sense to you what I'm saying. Don't look at him and say, call him, derogatory name. How can you think, what I mean? Honor his decision because you do not know where it's coming from. And then when you honor his decision, he will come to you more often to incorporate. Today I was thinking about this decision because now he's going to trust your opinion. But if you keep dismissing him, he's going to shut down and find somebody else to ask him about this idea, this vision that he have. He won't be sharing things with you no more. He's going to start shutting down because you start dismissing him. So if you want him to trust you, you have to be able to listen to his decision. Don't question his decision. Don't demean him. Don't make him feel less and don't make him feel like a child. Don't try to scold him. And not only that, a lot of time we come in relationship evangelists, and we spoke of that because, we have many different sister platforms on the Marcia Baker Ministry umbrella. And we've been doing for quite some time now, healthy relationship and healthy relationship, how to be your healthier you, so to speak, right? So a lot of time we come in a relationship with baggages. So we all have it. Unforgiveness because that person hurt us, past relationship hurt, and we come with that same trauma. We see that person through, as someone would say, you're bleeding on a person who did not cut you. So you come in a relationship from somebody who have hurt you that you have not forgive. So now everything is a trigger. It doesn't matter how good you do a thing, you see it as something bad because in the past when that person looked similar, act similar, it was an outcome that was not favorable. So because now you have not forgiven yourself, not for the person who left, not for the person who hurt you, not for the person who disappointed you, but forgive yourself. Because forgiveness is not for who walk out on you, it's not for who hurt you, it's not for who disappoint you, it's for self. Because if we don't forgive, we're going to foster resentment, anger, bitterness. And when we do that, we come in a relationship with broken trust and have not taken time to trust the person who's in front of us. So in order for us to trust them, we first have to forgive ourselves, to trust ourselves. Once we can trust ourselves, we trust our spouse to make the right decision for the family.
Yeah.
And if he does messed up or made a mistake, forgive him. Forgive him for trying. Forgive him for being human. We married a human. The same way we want forgiveness, we first have to want to give it. So a lot of time we come in and say, oh, I don't trust no man. They're all the same. And we use all these terms. And as Evangelist, I think one time said, have you been with all the men in the world? Or somebody said, have you been with all the men to say you trust no man? One man hurts you. And now all men?
All
Really?
men are the same.
Right? No, that's unrealistic. Because you don't want men to say all women are the same if they are hurt by one woman. So we have
Right.
to learn to foster trust in the relationship. Trust is leadership. Trust is decision. Trust where it's taking the family. Because obviously, like I said, you're not going to choose somebody who you think is going to lead you off of a ditch, right?
Right.
You made a decision because there was qualities in him that you were able to align with in order to say yes. Like I always said, there is no human being 100% good. There is no human being 100% bad. Whatever you focus on, whatever you magnify is the result you're always going to see. So if you can see the good in everything, then that's where your trajectory and your focus will be. But if everything is bad, it doesn't matter if you get your $1 million, if that's what you said you want, you're going to see it as bad.
Right.
So what you're focusing on and learn to forgive the small things. Don't hold on to the little thing that become a molehill. Forgive. If he's supposed to pick you up on time and traffic happened or something happened and he wasn't able to come on time the first time, the second time something else, the third time and you say, oh, he's never on time. That's not realistic. There's time when he is early.
Something happened.
Treat him when he's early, right? When he do come on time, you punish him again. You start complaining. Well, at least you're on time. You see what I'm saying? We don't learn to let the small things go. And these are the things the husband uses and say we become a nagger, which are a nagging wife or something, because we don't let things go. We use one thing to punish him for everything that he's doing right. Because we can't forgive. So when you can't forgive, doesn't matter what he's doing right. That one thing cloud you from seeing, like I was telling somebody yesterday, until you let go of yesterday and forgive of yesterday, you will not be able to enjoy the gift and the beauty that is available today. So every day we have to learn to forgive ourselves so we can learn to trust our spouse. Because when we don't forgive ourselves, then we can't trust nobody. And they want peace. We hear it all the time. Husband want peace. Men want peace. What does that mean? World war peace. You know, everybody want peace. Peace. It's a world war going out there, but everybody fighting for peace, right? We don't say it all the time. But honestly, they do want peace. And what they're saying, you know, when they come home, don't just bombard them with everything that went on in your day or is going on or what's going on wrong. Give them some time just to unwind. Timing is everything. You know, make sure you have some time to detox from the traffic, what's going on out there, just to take the weight off. Can he take off his Superman cape when he come home and just sit for a minute to be Clark Kent before you start to unload on him, right? That's what they're saying. You know, give us some time to unwind and pray. If you don't know how to do that, pray. And that's why it's important as well that we constantly stay in prayer. The word, the Bible said, pray without ceasing. Your thought must be regurgitated on the God and how to be able to submit, which is a big thing for a lot of us. But what we're saying is submit to your role so you understand when your spouse come home how to treat him in his role while you're operating in your role, because that's what submission means to us as believers. Whatever experience you have outside of Christ, obviously, it's going to be derogatory or feel like, you know, but submission under Christ is you're submitted to your role as Christ gives us the instruction through his word how to operate in our and function in our role, to be able to be the peace that our husband wants in the home. And I think some place in the Bible said that, you know, a nagging, it's better for a man to be in the rooftop
than to be in the house with a nagging wife.
A nagging wife. That's how much our word and our power, our word carry power. Like I said earlier, before we started, like we have influence. Our word have influence. You can drive the man to come home, or we can drive him out the house. We have that power, ladies, believe it or not. So, like I said, before we unload him, let him have some time to just, you know, make sure the kids give them some time away before they rush to daddy and stuff like that. If they come home, you greet him with a holy kiss, hug, and then you take away yourself. Let him unwind. Let him get some me time before you start, you know, talk to him about the sink and everything that needs to be fixed. And this one was a hard one for me, Evangelist. Men need affection. As much as we crave it as women, honestly, this one was a shocker for me. Yes, that it was on the top list. Not that, you know, I know they need it, but I don't know they crave it as much as we do.
They do.
honestly. Because a lot of us misconstrued affection with sex, and it's
With
two
sex.
different things. Because for us, it's a different. It's not.
And for them too, yes.
Yes, affection for men does not mean sex. So sometimes we overlook the affection because we're thinking men just want sex. That's why they're nice to us. They're
Right.
touching us and all of that, and they want a hug.
Right.
No.
Mm-hmm.
They generally just need, they had a rough day. Just give them a hug, heart to heart. It makes a difference.
It makes
Not
a difference.
the side
It makes
off,
a difference.
that you're giving that fake friend over there. No, a genuine heart to heart hug. Let it linger for a minute. Just rest on his shoulder for a minute. Don't even have to say a word. Just listen to his heartbeat for that quick 60-second or whatever.
That speaks volume.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. A hug speaks volumes. That human touch, that human connection, and especially if you have a connection with your spouse, that hug means a lot. And guess what? For those of you out there that don't like hugs and your husband want it, just when you get that one good hug in, it's gonna change your life.
And it's not too late to start.
Change your life. It's going to change your life. It's going to change your whole entire life. You're going to be like, you're going to want to hug so much that now your husband will be like, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you, that hug, it, like Evangelist Nikki said, it just soothes everything. Like, especially
a weight lifted off. You can just exhale.
Especially if your husband towers over you and you just get lost in that hug.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
See, I'm an hugger by nature, not because I was raised that way. I didn't get it growing up. I did not get affection growing up because, I grew up in the country, and affection was nothing that I grew up and see in my family. But it's something I always crave, so always give it. So I'm a natural hugger. I don't do handshake. I have a phobia with handshake, but hugging is my thing. Yeah. So ironic, my husband is the same way too. He likes to hug. So it works for us. But a lot of folks said, listen, I don't come from an affectionate family. I am a testament to that. I did not come from that family either, but it's something that I wanted. So I first have to start learning to give it. Right? Yes. And the more it doesn't come natural. But the more you constantly do it, it becomes second nature. And if you haven't started doing it, but you said, okay, I don't like to give hugs, I don't want nobody touching me, I don't want to be affectionate because he's gonna want sex. No. Untrain that mindset. Yes, please do. Untrain what you were taught that if I'm affectionate, it's gonna lead. And even if it does, it's still a win-win anyway. But there's times that you just wanted that hug, like they just hug and just give a kiss on the forehead, and it speaks volume. And if you haven't started doing that, tomorrow is another day. You have today, keep doing it one day at a time. And like I said, it will become second nature. Because when I was speaking to some of my female friends, they're like, I'm not a hugger like you, Nikki. I am not a hugger. I don't come from that type of family. We don't do that around here. And I'm like, I don't come from that either. I did not see my parents hug until I was in my adult. I think I was an adult. That's the first time I saw them hug.
Guess what though, Nikki? Guess what though, Evangelist? You have a new family now. So start
you get to create the family that you want. Yeah.
Create it, right? So
and that's what I do. My husband and I, we don't hide our affection. We kiss each other, we greet each other with a holy kiss, and we're kissers and we're huggers. So we always kissing up on each other. The kids and be like, go get a room. This and that. They need to see healthy relationship. That is okay. You know what I mean? Not somebody forcing themselves on you or anything, but healthy relationship, affection. Like I said, I didn't see it growing up, but because I know that's something I desire, I make sure I do that. Right. I'm not gonna wait and say, oh, he never hugged me, he never kissed upon me and all of that. I do that myself. And then guess what? It naturally reciprocate back because you're coming from a place of love. There's no way you can show love and it doesn't come back.
Let me tell you something. We have to, and you say it all the time, be what you want to get in the relationship, right? You tell him what you want. And so listen to what he wants. And I didn't think that this thing was going to go so far, because you still have more research, I still have more research, and a lot of times when we start divulging into these things, so many other things come to us that we can discuss, and it's about building and sustaining and maintaining healthy marriage. We're talking about marriages today. What your husband want, not what your boyfriend want, not your boyfriend. We're talking about your husband. And I think I said it some time ago that when we're dating and courting or even engaged, we give them so much that when we get married, we feel like, well, I gave enough. No, you were trying to get that man, so that's why you did all those things. But the same way you got him hooked is the same way you have to do to keep him hooked. Lord Jesus. Evangelist Nikki, you see the time? It's 7:45.
Oh, wow. Where
Listen,
does time go when you are enjoying?
We're gonna have to come back. We're gonna have to come back and finish up, because this is really good, because like you said earlier, we're always talking about what the women want. And ladies, be fair, be fair, be fair. We're always saying what we want. I know we do, right? So let's learn what our hubbies want so that we can satisfy them, so that they don't have to go outside to get it. That's the goal. I don't want nobody satisfying my husband on the outside. Nobody. I want him to come to me for everything, except other than God, right? Other than God, he shouldn't go to nobody else for anything. I should be able to support this neck, should be able to support the head that I have that's over my covering, my protector, my guide, my man, my main man, my husband. I want to be able to support everything about him. I don't want him going out there to ask for nobody for anything at all, because that's how things get started. You know, they go for one thing, and next thing you know, it's a whole full-blown relationship. Now, we're not doing that around in these streets. Nope, not in these streets. We're not doing it.
Earlier, we as wives, we need to be that change that our husbands see as the influence in his life. We have to be that biggest influence in his life, his biggest cheerleader, his biggest support system, because like I said, we are the neck, believe it or not. We get to, as if you have respect for your husband, as we mentioned, and you're kind and you're smiling. I mean, like I said, there's no one size fit all. Like I said, this is not no one size fit all. This is like, you get, like somebody said, you pick out the bone or the meat off the bone, whatever, and try something that you have not done before, especially a smile. How often do you smile at your spouse? And one thing we wanted to be that influence for our spouse, that godly influence, not demeanor him, but build him up, respect him, cheer him on, encourage him, support his vision, support his business deal, support the decision that he made. Don't belittle him. Like I said, ladies, we construe expectation with need. Men need are constant. It does not change. Needs remain the same. Their expectation over time does change.
Yes. All right. So we're going to come back next week, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you, half an hour go by so fast and so quick, but we don't want to be on too long so then you get bored. So we just hit you with something and then you have to come back for more. Listen, if you're watching tonight and you say, oh, I missed part one, go back to our YouTube channel, our Facebook channel, and look over it again. All right. Now, listen, if you're a new person here, welcome to our page. Welcome to this channel. I just want to say that if you have not yet subscribed, like, and share, please do so tonight. All right. Hit us up on Facebook, Prayer for Marriages on Facebook, Marcia Baker Ministries on YouTube. Let me tell you something. We are here to help you. Our goal is to save families, save marriages, one family at a time, one couple at a time. If we save one marriage today, we have done our due diligence. All right. So we thank you. We love you. God bless you. God keep you until we see you next Monday. Listen, if you have not been a part of our Thursday night committee for the dating, courting, before you say I do committee, you may want to join us this Thursday. We're going to be talking about limitations in dating. dating. So you want to come and hear that, all right? So we just want to say, have a happy rest of your Monday. Go give your husband a hug. Evangelist Nikki talk about that hug. The hug do you right, all right? So go ahead, hug your spouse tonight. Hug him and hold him tight. I'm telling you, it will be medicine to your soul, all right? God bless you and have a wonderful evening.